Hello and welcome to the Mothership. I'm the ramrod around here, Black Sivrak. You fellers doing all right this evening? Only you can answer that. Hey, welcome to this video. Of course, you are all here to not only see that our sponsor is Copenhagen Snuff that satisfies since 1822. Lovely bighorn Rocky Mountain sheep there. Who appears to have, look at this, for any of you hunters, one broomed horn. See that? If you know what that means, drop it in the comments. Let's see if we can see how old this guy is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7's all I can count, but that is on the broomed. You know that, the more I look at it, that actually might, I don't know. It's all looking like a doll sheep, except that face is just a little too fat. But it looks like there's 7 rings on the broomed horn there. So, if any of y'all know anything about sheep hunting, you would know that I was the fucking greatest. Oh, I cussed. Sorry about that, Mark. Shout out to Blue Harvest Mark for no particular reason, except that he is my friend. And it is a lot of work being his friend. I'm sure everybody understands that. But thank you for joining us on the Mothership. Also brought to you by Stetson Hats. Old Faithful right here. This hat is quite a bit older than most of y'all's kids, I would imagine. I really don't know. Thank you for joining us. And I know you're here to check out this vintage carded figure that we will be opening. What isn't, you asked? Well, of course. It's another Dick Tracy Playmates. How about that? Calling Dick Tracy. Dick Tracy. Pruneface has just blew up the federal mint. Pruneface, one of the OGs. This card is extremely bad. There's actually tape holding the bubble on. A lot of veining. Not worried about it. I'm going to open it. But let's at least enjoy a awesome 1990s card back. And notice Hasbro, you know, every character, right? Under Dick Tracy, it says, calling Dick Tracy, and then it says, Dick Tracy, hurry up to the office, or whatever it says, right? So this little part in this bubble is printed for every character. I think that's very cool. We'll take a look at the back. We have a Pruneface 3-panel thing right there. We have the, whatever you call it, the G.I. Joe card. The rest of the line here. I just got scammed on eBay for an influence, so, I mean, you know, it's eBay, so I'm sure I have to wait a few days, but I'm sure it'll all come out in the wash. But who's out there shysting people over Playmates Dick Tracy figures? Come on. That's ridiculous. But anyway, before we open Pruneface, I would like to have a small talk with you about the actor who played Pruneface, Mr. RG Armstrong, one of my favorite character actors of all time. Shout out to Keep On Collecting. I know you know. RG Armstrong was born in 1917 in Pleasant Grove, Alabama. He came from a what is the word? Extremist, basically an extremist religious family. He was supposed to be a preacher and all that in his father's steps and everything. RG Armstrong started his career on Broadway. I believe, he was in Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. I think that's probably the major one that we would still know today. Or maybe you don't, I don't know. There's some movie and film experts out there that don't watch black and white because they think it's not interesting. And Mark, you know who that is, don't you? That guy. What a fucking guy. But anyway, we'll take a look at that. RG Armstrong, born 1917 in Alabama. He was in most TV show that you've ever seen. From The Twilight Zone to Gunsmoke. He was in a few horror flicks. Captain Spaulding, shout out to you. You probably, I read a couple, but I didn't watch them. So I saw The Twilight Zone. He was in a couple Hitchcock films. He usually plays an extremist religious character. Usually toting a Bible in one hand and a shotgun in the other. Shout out to Gilster. This part's for you, Gilly. RG Armstrong, he became very good friends with my favorite director of all time, and Gilster's, Sam Peckinpah. You can find RG Armstrong in most every film that Sam Peckinpah made. RG Armstrong was also before he died, he had like over 200 plays that he had written, and I think 4 or 5 unpublished novels. So the man was a writer at heart, and that was kind of the thing that him and Peckinpah bonded over. Sam Peckinpah also found friendship in him and was, attracted by his inner turmoil. And that's a quote. He was attracted to him by his inner turmoil with the way he was raised and the conflict between his feelings and the way he was raised regarding religion. RG Armstrong was a pretty cool cat. You can see him in El Dorado. Of course, he was the father of the family that was getting railroaded by the bad guys trying to take his water. What were their names? I can't remember. That's probably my favorite John Wayne movies, El Dorado. I mean, nostalgic-wise, that was always... I watch it with my daughter today. She loves that. The music in it is amazing, as most John Wayne Western films had amazing music. Some of the other films that R.G. Armstrong was in, my favorite, shout out to Gilster again, Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid. He was, what was his name? Bob Ollinger. He played Bob Ollinger, who was infamously guarding Billy the Kid when he escaped, and he shot him. If you have not seen Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid, 1972, directed by Sam Peckinpah, starring Chris Christopherson and James Coburn, I don't know what you're doing with your life, because that's arguably the greatest, that could be the greatest Western film ever made. I don't know, Sam Peckinpah made some great stuff. Bring Me the Head of Alfredo Gonzalez may be better, I'm not sure, but shout out to you, Gilster. This is one of Peckinpah's good friends, R.G. Armstrong. He was also in a great film called Ride the High Country, which was Randolph Scott and Joel McCrea. I believe both of them's last film. Y'all need to go see that. You need to go see that film too. Ride the High Country with Randolph Scott and Joel McCrea. Awesome. There's a couple other people in there you'll recognize, but they're super young and they're not famous yet, so check that out. And Copenhagen is excessively juicy this evening. Anyway, R.G. Armstrong was born in 1917. I believe he died in 2012 in California. I know he was 95 years old, so if I got the year wrong, just add 95 to 17 and you'll get it. Yeah, you dig? I know you. I knew that you could, baby. Anyway, let's break into this pig. I had this character as a child. Matter of fact, he's over there somewhere. I should have grabbed him for the video. But a long time ago, I put an eye patch on him and a trench coat, and I glued the purple removable hat from the Joker that you used to be able to get. You remember I don't remember what line that was, but he was like the first figure I ever saw that had a removable hat. It was the coolest thing ever. Coolest thing ever. Well, I made this guy into a Nick Fury, agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., you know, a modern day, he'd be old and everything. Of course, I'm talking about the real Nick Fury. I remember when Nick Fury had both eyes and he was just a sergeant in World War II. Anybody else remember that? Because I remember that. And I remember when he got the suit, and I think he had like a skull on his chest, kind of like the Punisher there for a while, David Hasselhoff version or whatever. But my Nick Fury was always the trench coat wearing, one-eyed, post-World War II cloak and dagger agent. Yeah, an actual cloak and dagger, not whatever that show was that everybody says, oh, I saw that show. And no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the real cloak and dagger. Oh, I just sound like the junk man. No, I ain't talking about that. You're completely misunderstanding me. You're taking me out of context. He don't say context, but anyway. Shout out to the junk man. Junkman, I love Sanford and Son, don't get me wrong, but I liked Grady. Anybody else like Grady? Fucking Grady was my favorite guy to see on, and Aunt Esther. I mean, that's why you watch Sanford and Son, for when Aunt Esther comes in and fucking, you know, you turkey? She said a lot of stuff. But anyway, I remember Grady, the Sanford and Son went out of town and Grady had to watch a junkyard and they had that big old rifle. He's walking around the house with his rifle. And then somebody come by and they sassed him, you know. And Grady looked at him and he said, let me find something to hit you with. My dad, 80-something years old, he still says that to this day. And he's quoting Grady. But anyway, hey, let's break into this. I know I've been rambling a little bit. It only takes 30 seconds for a view, so gotcha! So if you clicked off by now, I'm really not worried. But for those of you who are fans of LAC, fans of RG Armstrong, fans of Playmates, Dick Tracy, the whole shebang, let's check it out. Now this card is taped down, but I'm still gonna go through the bottom like we did the other one. Because even though I'm really not a card collector, I do like these cards. They got a lot of art, they got a lot of work put into them, you know? The tape is a little weaker than my blade, so it's kind of pulling the tape off anyway. Okay. All right. Shout out to Only One Kenobi. Unregulated Chinese plastic. Lovely. Let's see if this one is sticky like that Dick Tracy we got. No stickiness. All right, good looking figure. Let's take a look at this. Should I go like that? Nice detail. He's got some dynamite on his chest. His tie's undone. I don't know what these, maybe those are like nitroglycerin bottles. I'm not really sure. Maybe it's wire. Maybe that's a spool of wire for his oh my gosh, I forgot what they call that thing. What? Plunger. Gee, many Christmas. This guy almost actually has spats on this time, but they're still not quite right. But yeah, Pruneface, man. RG Armstrong. What's interesting is they make him like the sloppiest figure, but in the movie he was actually one. You never saw him in the movie without everything. Hat. It was a real shame that these, if you know, I guess Playmates ain't around, but Warren Beatty, if you're watching this, I think you should come out with another line of these, man. You know, give us some trench coats and some hats, man. There's a guy on eBay that makes these coats. I can't remember. They do look very. There's actually two guys. One of them looks really. They both are good. One is superior to the other, and he does show them on the figures. But to me, the Dick Tracy coat is the only one that actually looks really good on the figure, and that's not a disparaging to the creator of those, because I can see that a lot of work went into them, and they are very nice. I would like to get one for Dick Tracy, because like I said, how could you make a Dick Tracy figure without his coat on? That's ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous. Pruneface comes with a oddly, I don't know what this is supposed to be, But other than that, it's a, oh, yeah. Other than that, it is a Thompson. Supposed to be a Thompson submachine gun. I'm not really sure what this tube is under the barrel is supposed to be. But, you know, that one did not get me. That one did not get me. So he has his Thompson submachine gun, model 1927. I'm going to put this down. We'll get the other two accessories out. I would like to find all of these carded. If the card is very nice, I'd like to keep them on card. But I am definitely wanting to collect these loose for display. We got some bullets here. Does this, I think, see, this one goes around his waist, I think. Because it's, no, it doesn't. Okay, I got you. I got you. So that one goes that way. I keep forgetting that these are made to go, they're bandoliers. Well, they're not. This one doesn't fit him that way. What's going on here? What goes on here, natives? Let's see, can I get this? It'd be nice to get this on there. Is it for his waist? I know y'all can't see what I'm doing. It's not for his waist, is it? No, it's way too big for his waist. It's too big for the waist, too small for the chest. It is a fairly cool belt with overly sized, I don't know, these are like, I don't know, these are like grenade launchers? This is like grenades for a grenade launcher? What are they, mortars? These are definitely not 45 caliber automatic centerfire pistol rounds, that's for sure. Shout out to Dylan. Have you shot all of that ammo up I gave you? Times on the Mothership have been tough, so I've been selling some stuff, and then I sold a couple guns, and then our good friend Dylan came by the Mothership, and so I gave him a bunch of ammunition for stuff I don't own anymore, because I'd much rather give it to a friend than, I mean, you know, stuff like ammunition and stuff, man, you need to give them to your friends. Don't try to sell it, you know, give it to your friend, because if your friend has it, it's like you having it. Am I right? So dig it. We got Pruneface with his bandolier, his plunger, and the Thompson. RG Armstrong, one of the greats. Y'all definitely go check out those films I mentioned. Ride the High Country, Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid. I believe he was also in Major Dundee. And I like Charlton Heston and everything, but everybody knows the greatest Charlton Heston film was Mountain Men, so everybody knows that. But yeah, dig this, you guys. RG Armstrong as Pruneface. So awesome. Cool figure, cool line, cool movie, cool character. Dick Tracy predates like every superhero that we all, you know, love and appreciate or whatever, right? Like the original superheroes, you know, at least in America, right? The original superheroes are the Lone Ranger and Dick Tracy and Hopalong Cassidy and Gene Autry. You know, like those were the first, I mean, you know, whatever you want to call that, the golden age of television. But how about that? I'm still waiting for in the comments somebody tell me who Smiley Burdette is. That's cool, ain't it? So, hey, I appreciate everybody. Thank you for sticking with me if you did. And if you didn't, whatever. Try to like, share, and subscribe. I know I don't say that at the end of videos, but look, I get 400 views and I get like 2 likes. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, you guys. If I spent enough time to watch it, I'll like it, you know? If I spent enough time and it grabbed my interest and I watched it, I'll like it, because what does that mean? Like, I sit here and watch the whole thing, so I must have liked it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I may not watch it 9 times in theater, but, you know, whatever. So this is cool, ain't it? This is cool. So look for him and Dick Tracy probably on Instagram, on my new Instagram page. And maybe, you know, look for him and Dick Tracy and maybe a short on the channel here. We're still looking for stuff, man. We're still looking for stuff. We'll do another video soon. I appreciate everybody. It's been a real treat. It's been a real treat. So on behalf of everyone here on the Mothership, we appreciate you. And if there's anything I can do and you think that we're friends enough to ask. Because I'm from the village. You know what I mean? And like, helping your friends and your neighbors is all you got. That's all you got at the end of the day. When one dies, all you leave behind is the memories of who you were. And if you were cool enough and good enough and strong enough and badass enough that your friends tell their kids about you and they tell their grandkids about you long after you've died, that's when you've made it. That's when you made it. No amount of money or anything in this society made by man can give you that kind of wealth. Friendship. Alright. This has been Lax Sivrak. I appreciate everybody. If y'all see any Dick Tracy figures out there, you know, I mean, you should be able to grab them for like 15, 20 bucks. You know, the blank, obviously, there's one on eBay right now for $500 and something, and it's not complete, and it looks like a dog chewed on it, and it is ridiculous. Ridiculous. But I will tell you that that's the only, well, I did see a graded one that I thought I was watching, and I forgot to see what, but the opening bid was like $800. And, you know, and it's like Cowboys of Moo, the junk man will fucking, you know, tell you, I mean, it's like Cowboys of Moo Mesa. Like, people, whatever. I was there. I liked it. And we'll talk about those maybe on the next episode. So this has been the Commander-in-Chief and one of the most ruthless hitmen ever, Pruneface, played by RG Armstrong, 1917 to whatever. All right, it's been real and it's been fun, and it has been real fun. I don't care what anybody says. Love y'all. See you on down the trail.